Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. And today, as you can clearly see, we've got the Elite Series 115 Drew McIntyre. But you may be thinking, didn't I just review this figure? And you would not be wrong. I legit did just review this figure. But if you guys know, then you may understand why, as Drew McIntyre was the chase variant of the set. And well, if you guys also saw on my Instagram, and or I may have mentioned it in the original review, I was going to end up turning that one Drew McIntyre that I got into a custom and ordering a replacement. Well, this was technically his replacement, and well, we have no figure to truly compare to it, unless you want to count my retro style modern day take on the 2010 gear he used to wear, which we will do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison on that, especially with both of them being all white gears for the most part. But with that being said, why don't we get this Elite 115 Drew McIntyre Chase variant out of his plastic prison. Alrighty, you guys, now that we do have the Chase variant Drew McIntyre out of the packaging, and we do have my custom standing side by side with them, mind you, I am excited to kind of break down the custom here in a little bit. But first things first, we gotta get into the main figure itself, right? So of course, same thing as the Elite 15. He comes with the two sets of slappy hands. He comes with the the set of, the weapon holding or claymore holding hands. And he has the same exact claymore that he comes with the normal edition. But the kilt itself is way different compared to the original. Of course, it does use the same scope. So for instance, let's take the 115 normal kilt, because I did have the figure. I just throwing it back out there, turned him into a custom. Here he is. So it is literally the same exact sculpt. Got the pocket there, but instead of having the gold plaid design, it's just all white. You've got the golden, it's supposed to be like jewels or whatever. You've got the pieces there that are in gold, the silver button or belt piece there, and you've got the little silver jewels that go down the back of it nearby the seam, as where this has the white kilt lines in it, and no designing really towards the top, not even having the belt painted. So the Chase variant actually kind of has a beat there. I'll give it that. Getting into the Chase variant figure himself. Now, if you watched the other review based on the original figure, you would know that this figure had D'Lo Brown syndrome. This figure, even in Chase form, has D'Lo Brown syndrome. I'm shocked it held the leg up that long and that high. And it keeps chipping white paint off from the crotch piece. This leg completely fine for that. I don't know about the splitsies, but that just means hot water treatment for the Chase variant we go. But everything else is moving fairly buttery smooth. Got the waist articulation, you got the ab crunch, double jointed arms, the wrist rotation, the upper arm swivel, the shoulder action there. You've got the double jointed knees, which are with the pin in, as I did mention earlier, in the original review, not earlier. But he also has the updated boot mold, so his feet can do the 360 rotations now if you really want them to. Either way, this figure is still pretty damn cool despite the hiccup there. At least the seam in the torso isn't prime and ready to be torso cracked, unlike my original one, which is why I ordered another one. Got it in the mail this morning because, I ordered them both from Amazon. So keep in mind, Chase variant Drews are out there on Amazon. We've got the white knee pads with the plaid gold designing. You got the plaid gold designing there. You come up to the belt area. Well, what's supposed to be a belt, it is just painted on there. Sadly, the one detail that I know probably would have made the attire inaccurate that I love that they added on this one, which makes me want to get another one of this one in particular. Mind you, that's what the legs look like underneath with no leg pieces there. That's how the ball joints are looking nowadays. So they kind of look like the pine cone or the ratchet joints, just a tad bit different. Anywho, it doesn't have that snake skin pattern on there, but this is also the same attire he wore when he faced Sheamus and Gunther in that Intercontinental Championship triple threat back at WrestleMania 41, I think? Was it 41? I can't remember if it was 40 or 41. I think it was 41, because 40 was all green and this one was a different color. Anywho, it doesn't really matter. Real quick, since it is using the same formula essentially, I do want to go into the retro Drew McIntyre here. We've got the original crotch piece from the re-release, the torso crack seam here from the original torso. You can check that out in the normal variant on the Drew McIntyre. He's got the original knee pads from the re-release and also the re-release boots. I figured putting the retro boots on here would look good, though. I do still have the newer style ones, so I could easily just throw those back on there. But yeah, it is using the new Drew formula, and I did that for one because the torso came pre-cracked essentially, so it was easy to crack the torso. But with the crotch piece, because it didn't have the new mold here, it had the ratchet joint crotch piece. I actually had to shave the pieces that make it a ratchet joint down, and the legs popped right on, torso popped on nice and smooth. It's sticking together pretty well too, because if you go on my Instagram, you would have saw I posted about that figure, and I did do a couple of spots with him, so he does pose fairly well for having that big gap in his torso. But if I use him for display, he's going to be displayed with the jacket, which is why I went with using the re-release on it, because the original Drew didn't come with that jacket. He came with the retro Intercontinental Championship, as I want to say that's the attire he won that championship with, but all that doesn't necessarily matter right now. Why don't we get Drew McIntyre all posed up for the final pose now, shall we? Well, alrighty you guys, now that we've got Drew McIntyre all posed up, we got him sitting here with that new version of the Intercontinental Championship, because of course he could have won that belt wearing this attire. So kind of a little fantasy what if, what we could have seen. But instead, we got the Drew McIntyre that we currently see nowadays on modern day TV. And I'm definitely never going to complain about that, because he has had probably one of the best stories coming out of the Triple H era, maybe a little bit of the Vince era, but some of the stuff he did in the Vince era was a little iffy, if you get what I mean. Like, some of it didn't always make sense, like him teaming up with Sheamus and doing all that, though. Like, it did lead to good matches and stuff of that nature. It doesn't matter. What does matter is how I feel about this Chase variant figure. Now, with it kind of being a simplistic white attire, of course you've got the little bits of silver and gold accents on the attire. It does add at least a nice touch to it, but I feel like the original attire is just a tad bit better when it comes to how it's designed and all the different intricate details and stuff like that. Hell, even the knee pads, have a bit more to them than these ones, I feel. But maybe that's just me. I do still dig this Chase variant, and I'm happy I own it, as I never thought I would, but I do dig having all white attires. This reminds me of the, Elite 45 Seth Rollins, where he had the all white and gold Power Ranger-esque gear, and everybody went ballistic over it, and I wish I had, my own source of income at the time, because I was sadly still in high school and could not afford to just go out of my way to buy that Seth Rollins, though nowadays it might be a tad bit cheaper. Nowadays, maybe they'll release it in a greatest hits wave. Nowadays, you never know. Especially when it comes to how they like to re-release figures and stuff of that nature. Hell, just for an example, if I have it out, I don't think I do, but one of my more recent Elite figure reviews, the top pick CM Punk in the all black gear with no logos or anything. It came with the sleeveless Punk shirt and all those hands. They're legit re-releasing that whole wave in a Raw Netflix series wave, and it doesn't make sense, but whatever gives Mattel more money, I guess. Speaking of more money, should you pay the extra money to get this figure? No, I'm not going to say you should go out of your way unless this was a big match moment for you and you really love the attire. But, for $25, that good old retail price, I can't pass it up. I'm not going to lie. Happy I got it. I opened that Amazon box. I saw the white kilt and my brain said, oh shit. I got unexpected figure review, and when you can bring me that much excitement, no matter how I actually feel about the figure itself, I do love that feeling of getting a Chase variant, especially when you're not expecting it, because you never know with Amazon. I've gotten a few Chases through them before. For an example, because I do have it out, my Chase variant Braun Breaker, or if I really felt like pulling her out, I do have the Chase variant Chelsea Green. Still have yet to get the original Chelsea Green too, which is the funny thing. But yeah, I just really love the hunt when it comes to Chase variants, and at least Chase variants that I am heavily interested in getting. Like, if it was just a simple repaint, I wouldn't care all that much. Like this is technically just a simple repaint, but it's a good repaint, and for how good it is, I'm gonna rate this figure a good 8 out of 10, way more than the original figure got, and I think that's just simplistic nature. He's not dealing with the pre-cracked torso syndrome that this Drew McIntyre will forever be forced to feel until I can put a new torso on him. But with all that being said, we gave him the 8 out of 10, so now we gotta go into the Dave Meltzer star ratings, the good old 1 to Young Buck match. We gave him a good old 8 out of 10. Now I think it's only fair that we give him the good old 4 out of 5 stars, and that just proves how much a star rating can change based off of how the figure comes in hand. And I say it like that because my original one came kind of trashed. I get the Chase variant though, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. Excuse me. Yeah, I do hate that it has the D'Lo Brown syndrome or the Elite Ray syndrome from way back in the day when the original Rey Mysterios in the purple and black gear were being released and stuff of that nature. And I know what MDT's talking about when he mentions it like that, because I heard him use that description, and I'm like, it's sad but true. I had to get a different Rey Mysterio for the fact that my first one came like that, and it wasn't until I put him in hot water he was fine. Coincidence? I think not. Hot water solves all of action figure problems for the most part. Anywho, we gave him the good scale. Now, I think it's time to head out of here. So then that way when I catch a minute, I can hot water treat Chase Drew here, and I can maybe potentially figure out what attire I would like to use for episode 14 of the Pick Fed, because, just saying, Drew McIntyre will be in Fatal 4-Way action, aka the Armageddon Gauntlet qualifiers. If you haven't been keeping up with the Fed, the next pay-per-view is Armageddon. We are currently getting ready to work on episode 114, episode 114, episode 14 and episode 13 are, my brain is farting right now. Episode 13 is currently out. Episode 14 is currently in the works. Kind of got the number of the Elite figure confused in my head with the number of how many episodes I've done. I know it's been a few years since I've started fedding, but in the same breath, I have not reached almost 100 episodes. Be nice, but we'll have to see. Maybe one day indeed. But on that note, if you liked the video, feel free to like the video, and if not, womp womp, I guess. But if you did like the video, feel free to maybe leave a comment, maybe go check out some of my other action figure reviews. And most importantly of all, I would really love it if you guys could subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe. And we are still currently sitting at 337 as of recording. As you guys can see the magical number there now, 337 as of recording. And as you guys can see, just kind of a little bit of proof, we've got the original Drew McIntyre, figure review. Now gonna have to update the name on that so it says normal, and when we upload this one, it'll say Chase Variant. And with that being said, I also realize that this video is going on way longer than it needs to be, so if you guys could, feel free to do that, because we are currently on the road to 350 subs. On that note though, go check out whatever you guys would like. We have playlists for a lot of the stuff that is on the channel, so if you're only interested in pick fed content right now, we've got it. Playlist, you can go activate it right now or go watch it right now, whatever words I'm trying to say. I don't know, I'm tired. I worked an 8-hour shift. And, if you want to watch just action figure reviews, you can do that too. I do have to update that playlist. I feel like I have to update it every other month, if not every other 4 months, because I get lazy. Anywho, at least I'll admit it. And on that note, don't really have anything else to say. So, have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I am not in your time zone, and if I were, would I get shot? Actually, no, I don't think that's the question to be asking. Unless you're in Chirac, maybe you should be asking then. But, yeah, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. Would I like it there? Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. But yeah, we are signing off. So, deuces, ooses, yeet.